Today I'm going to be sticking my faux Moroccan tiles to this arch. I'm very excited because it's been about a year in the planning. We went to Morocco last year, came back, built the arch, and I knew I wanted to put Moroccan tiles on it, found out how expensive they were, so decided to find a way to make my own. But I knew I also wanted to do a mural in the kitchen, and that it would be easier to do the mural first and then match the tiles to the mural, because I wanted to have the scope to use any colours I liked on the mural, whereas I could be a bit more disciplined about the tiles and find something that went with the walls. So that's what we'll be doing today. The first thing I'm going to do is prepare the surface, and I'm going to do that by applying a sort of sealer primer of this PVA, which is a standard building PVA. It's just like the sort of white glue you're used to, but if you water it down you can apply it to surfaces as a primer. Definitely need it on wood because that can be very dusty. Probably don't need it on this plaster because it's been painted and it's been here a long time. But what I don't want to happen is when I apply my adhesive, which is cement based, I don't want the water to be drawn out and into the wall or the wood, because that will just be no good for the adhesive. It will just start to crack. So that's what you're going to see me do first. I'm going to mix my adhesive now. This is what I'm using. It's a very good quality one. This I bought quite a long time ago for glass Mosaic, but it's fine for this. Before I put any, move this stuff, get away, Follow. Before I put any adhesive in the bottom, I'm going to put a bit of water in the bottom, because that ought to help there not be those dry bits that you can never get mixed in properly. I'm going to mix up, I don't know, half the bag. I've got a feeling this stuff, look at that. Maybe I should have done this outside. Yeah, let's take this outside. So, it was throwing up a lot of dust in the kitchen there, so come out here. This is another admix. It's called Isolastic, a latex admixture including inducing elasticity for Carabond tea, well, for the adhesive I'm using. And it's a bit like adding, I think it's like the stuff you might add to mortar. Now that's not bad as a consistency. I think I might go with that. This is actually quite tricky to do on a vertical surface because it wants to fall off my spreader. So let me see if I can get a technique going. Now this border is all in one piece, so I have to work relatively quickly because I'm doing a large surface. It's not liking spreading over the edging, the metal strip, so I might come back to that. Now what I'm going to do is, because the edges haven't covered particularly nicely, I'm going to paste the edge of the border. So now we have to stick it up. I want to trim this now, but I want to trim it a little bit lower than the wall. So I am lining the back of my scissors up with a piece of cardboard. Ah, see? Ooh. Right, so that goes in there like that. Happy with that? Yep. I'm going to go quite a thick mix because the adhesive underneath is still wet. Because the adhesive underneath is still wet, I feel like I want a drier mix of grout. You kind of have to go at it from lots of different directions because the grout joints lie in lots of different directions. Right. I'm going to start wiping the grout off. Sponges are better than cloths. Cloths are better than nothing, which is basically my way of saying I don't have a sponge. That's doing okay though. So it's a bit imperfect when you first start to wipe off the grout. You will keep dragging grout across your tiles, which will leave you with a dusty surface. But you need to make your peace with that because there's no alternative and resistance is futile. And what you have to do is wait for it to go off a bit more and come back to it. I'll keep wiping down. Very happy with that. Doesn't it look nice? Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some more adhesive because I mixed up half the adhesive and that has done a third of the wall. I've also run out of grout because I only bought a small pack because I wasn't sure what colour I'd want. So I might buy grout adhesive because as it's pushing through the tiles anyway, it would just, oh dear, I've got a lot of stuff on my shoes. It would make sense to just use grout adhesive. Things forever, and at some point you have to leave them to dry with a film of dust on them, and then you buff them up afterwards. Especially with this number of grout joints, this amount of grout joints, and you'll never get all the dust off because as you drag your sponge across, you're also dragging bits of grout. So it's just sort of a never-ending. Now. I hope you can see what they're going to look like eventually when the dust's all gone and they're polished up. They will look like tiles, so I'm really pleased. I was a bit frantic doing these because all my adhesives seem to be going off so quick because it's quite a warm day. But I'm going to sit down in a minute and have a cup of coffee. I'm going to put a polish on these tiles now just to give them a bit of a bloom. I didn't want a high gloss, so after a few experiments I've decided to go for Pledge Cleaner Revive It Floor Gloss. It's quite an easy option because it's you can apply it with a cloth or a brush. The sort of high gloss finishes that you put on polymer clay usually would have to, well, they could be baked or they might be in epoxy, which, you know, obviously I try and avoid using. The varnishes you get are so liable to reacting badly with the polymer that I just wanted to avoid them. This seems great though, so that's what you'll see me apply now. Oh, it's only available in America, this particular formulation. So although the bottle itself is only about £5, it's £20 delivery. But it looks like I've got enough for a lifetime here. So yeah. This stuff is incredibly liquid and thin, so I'm starting at the bottom and working up because I know I'm going to get drips running down, and that way you don't get streaks. But I'm really only dipping the very tip of the brush in. But it goes on so easy. I've got a lot of plastic on the floor because I know it's going to end up in a pool. And it's very forgiving because you can just do as many coats as you want with this stuff, and you can even take it off again if at some point in the future you want to take it back and start again to get a fresh polish back. I think you need ammonia, I think they said. Not very nice, but there's some formula you can use to make something to take this off. But maybe I'll never have to do that. And just so you know, I have given these tiles a couple of wipes over since putting them up yesterday, just to get the last bits of dust from the surface. I finished my border. It's up on my Moroccan arch and I'm very happy with it. They do look like real tiles, even though they're made of polymer clay. I'm really happy with the colour combination. I think it goes beautifully with the walls. I didn't want to do anything too closely matching, so I didn't want to just go for greens. So I decided to pick out the blue, because turquoise is a very typical colour for Islamic tiles. I think the colour turquoise in tiles was developed by the Turkish. So although these are based on Zellige Moroccan tiles, there is a particular palette that you expect to see, and I didn't want to stray too far from that. So I'm just really happy. I think it ties in really nicely with the rest of the kitchen, and actually in a way some bits of it from a distance almost read as flowers, a bit like the way you have the florals on the wall, and then at other times your eye picks up the hexagonal shape. I think there's just enough red in it, the green pops nicely, so I'm really pleased. So I hope you've enjoyed watching my video of me developing and making this project, and that it inspires you to do things in your own home. Thank you for watching. My channel is Sophie Stained Glass. Please like, comment and subscribe.